What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Hello and welcome to Exposé Today. This is brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. I'm your regular host. My name is Tony Akinyemi. Our conversation on medical gases is getting more and more interesting, and I hope that you're enjoying the series. I hope you've been, gaining pieces of information that I believe have been very helpful to you. We concluded the last episode last month by looking at the gradual drops in atmospheric oxygen from creation till date, and the need for us to be intentional in oxygenating our blood. Okay, we said that according to the 1980s US Geological Survey, the Earth's atmosphere used to have 50% oxygen earlier in its history. 100 years ago, that declined to about 38% oxygen in the atmosphere. In the 1950s, it was said to have dropped further to about 21%. And today, in most cities around the world, the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere has dropped to an abysmal 19%. Of course, it will vary from location to location. If you check the oxygen content in the air in a forest, for example, it will be richer in oxygen than the air in the city, because in the forest there are oxygen-producing species there much more than oxygen-consuming species. Whereas in the cities, we have more oxygen-consuming species than oxygen-producing species. Now, we have also looked at three main things that have accounted for the gradual drop in atmospheric oxygen. One is an increase in oxygen-consuming species on the one hand, and then a decrease in the oxygen-producing species, that is acreage of rainforest and aquatic algae, okay, as well as number three, fossil fuel combustion. These are the factors that have been responsible for the decline. Now, that has implications. We rounded off last week by looking at the implications. The implication is that now we have an anaerobic biosphere, and most disease-causing germs, fungi, bacteria, viruses, thrive better in an oxygen-deprived atmosphere. So we now have many of the microorganisms, disease-causing microorganisms that were not infecting and affecting us in the past, suddenly becoming our enemies, so to speak, in quotes, even though they are not supposed to be our enemies. So anaerobic diseases have become more rampant, particularly beginning from the 1980s. Now, Dr. Joe Wallach, in his book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, on page 257, actually tabled the different diseases that have become more virulent, more rampant, more virulent from the 1980s. For example, among the bacterial diseases or bacterial microorganisms that have become more virulent from the 1980s upward include Staphylococcus, popularly known as staph, and E. coli, as well as different types of Streptococcus and what have you, Candida albicans in the fungal category, and then different types of cancers. He says that Staphylococcus started becoming a real problem for around 1982. Now, Staphylococcus has existed long before 1982, but it started becoming a problem in humans, causing all kinds of symptoms and problems and infections and diseases in humans from around 1982, which means prior to 1982, even though Staphylococcus was there, yet it wasn't a big deal for humans. E. coli had been there all along. It wasn't a big deal until around 1993. Same thing with type A streptococcus. It's been there all along, but it became a big deal from around 1994. Candida albicans became a problem from around 1982. And so on and so forth. You see, so this low level of oxygen in the atmosphere is actually leading to all kinds of problems: bacterial problems, fungal problems, viral problems. Now, for the viruses, from around 1958, mycoplasma became a problem. Herpes 2, herpes simplex, sexually transmitted herpes, became a challenge from around 1978. HIV came on the scene around 1982. Even Epstein-Barr virus and the rest of them, hantavirus, Ebola virus, all of these things came in the 1980s, 1990s. Not that some of these viruses didn't exist before then, but they became human problems, disease-causing problems from about that time. And one of the contributing factors, apart from human activities such as laboratory experimentation and genetic modification and all kinds of lab-created microorganisms and what have you, apart from those human activities, one of the major factors that has contributed immensely to these microorganisms becoming a problem, disease-causing issue to humans, is low oxygen level in the atmosphere on the one hand and in our body on the other hand. So the big question is, how do we improve the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere? I discussed that a little bit last week when I spoke about town planning, how that it becomes critically imperative, critically important for our town planners, government agencies regulating town planning activities, to make sure they put building codes in place that will ensure that trees, plants, flowers, and different kinds of plants are planted in our residential areas in particular, so that they can generate a lot of oxygen into the atmosphere while we are consuming that oxygen. And then the carbon dioxide that human beings and animals breathe out, these plants can utilize it for photosynthesis under the sun to produce either beautiful flowers for us, or fruits, or whatever it is that they're producing for us. Now, we also need to think about how to improve oxygenation inside our body, not just in the atmosphere, even inside our body. And I want to share with us 6 different ways that you can oxygenate your body. 6 different ways that I can oxygenate my body. Now, these important ways to naturally oxygenate our bodies, there are 5 of them that are very natural. The 6th one requires a little bit of technology for it to happen. Okay, so I would say out of the 6, 5 are natural, and then the 6th one, technology. Now, so let's look at the 5 natural ways to oxygenate the human body. Number 1 is eating more of raw foods than cooked foods. Now, when you eat raw foods are also high in oxygen. Your body gets better oxygenated. When you cook your food, oxygen bubbles out of the food, so it is oxygen depleted. Yeah, when you eat them in the raw state, you're actually getting in more oxygen into your system. So you must ensure that at least 50%, that's the basic minimum, 50% of what you consume every day in terms of food and drinks, they are all consumed in their raw state, natural state, unaltered state, the way God made them. So if you're going to eat your fruits, if you're going to eat your vegetables, your nuts, just eat them at least 50% raw. That means you need to incorporate a lot of vegetable salad into your daily dietary fare. You need to incorporate a lot of smoothies into your daily dietary fare. You need to incorporate a lot of vegetable juices in particular. Very low on fruit juices, but high on vegetable juices. And then nut milk. Those are ways to ingest raw food. Basic minimum, half of what you eat every day must be raw. Maybe the other half cooked. Now, and as you get older, really, I will encourage you to eat more, to increase the percentage raw and decrease the percentage of your cooked food. In other words, if you're eating 50% raw food and 50% of your food in the cooked state. As you get older, you can start eating 60% of your meals as raw in a day, and then the other 40% as cooked. So for example, you can make your breakfast completely raw. Just blend 2 or 3 or 4 different fruits together into a smoothie and drink it for breakfast. That's raw food. Or you make vegetable juices, carrot juice plus cabbage juice, or carrot juice plus celery juice, or beetroot juice, and things like that. And you drink a glass 2 hourly. You drink 1 glass at 7 a.m., another glass at 9 a.m., another glass at 11 a.m. That's your breakfast, okay? Raw food. Or you make nut milk, almond milk, coconut milk, hazelnut milk, tiger nut milk, okay? And you can add 1 or 2 things to it, a protein powder, for example. My favorite protein powder is Living Protein. Now, Living Protein is made by a company in the US that is called Living Fuel, livingfuel.com. Living Fuel, F-U-E-L, fuel, livingfuel.com. That's where I obtain my Living Protein from. Of course, there's another one that I like, which is hemp protein or pea protein, P-E-A, pea, cow pea, okay, pea protein. I obtained that from Swansea Vitamins, swanseavitamins.com. That's where I get it from. And you just mix your protein powder into your nut milk, almond milk, coconut milk. Sometimes I add banana or some berries to it, strawberry and whatever. Sometimes I add dragon fruit. Dragon fruit happens to be one of my best fruits. In Nigeria, I'm told that the fruiting season, when it is available in the market, is approximately between, July and August of every year. But in some other parts of the world, dragon fruit may be available all year round. By the way, dragon fruit is such a beautiful fruit. It's not very sweet. It's mildly sweet. It's high in fiber. Its texture is just out of this world. Maybe one of these days I'm going to dedicate a whole episode to dragon fruit, to look at it and look at the different ways you can use it to make your smoothie and to eat it in your fruit salad, or different ways to consume it, eat it with your yogurt or something like that, and how to, the benefits to derive from it. All right, so eating raw foods helps to oxygenate your body. Number 2, to oxygenate your body properly, you need to learn the art of deep breathing. Deep breathing. Many of us, adults in particular, are shallow breathers. Proper breathing is to breathe deeply. Slow, deep breathing. Shallow, rapid breathing is improper breathing. Then you don't breathe with your mouth, you breathe with your nose. Okay, some people breathe with their mouth. Mouth breathing is improper breathing. Nose breathing is proper breathing. Now, if you look at a young infant, a little baby, healthy, beautiful baby, okay, look at the way they breathe. Just put a baby on her back or on his back, and you see the belly rising and falling, the belly rising and falling when the baby is breathing. But put an adult on his or her back and let the adult breathe. It is the chest that will be rising and falling. That is shallow breathing, because your lungs is like this. It's narrower towards the top and broader towards the base. So when you do deep breathing, you are using the full capacity of your lungs to take in air and extract the oxygen from the air inside your lungs and enrich your blood with oxygen. But shallow breathing, you are using half or a little more than half capacity of your lungs. So deep breathing is very important. You remember when we were all in elementary school, primary school, when we went for PE, physical exercise or physical education, PE, I think they changed it to PHE, that is physical and health education, all right? But when I was in primary school, it used to be called PE, physical education. Now they changed it to physical and health education. Now, so when we went for PE in those days, they would tell us to do deep breathing. We thought we were just playing. We didn't know the implication, but it was very wonderful. It was a very beautiful habit they were trying to teach us, but many of us didn't imbibe it. They say, breathe in, out. In, out. You remember? That was how we were taught deep breathing. But how many of us still practice this today? Now, you need to do deep breathing about 3 times a day. 10 in and out. 10 sessions or 10 times per session. You breathe in, deep, out, 10 times. And do it in the outdoors where there's fresh air, not inside the room where there's polluted air. Okay, deep breathing in the outdoors. You do it 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the afternoon, 10 times in the evening. That's one good way to enrich your body with oxygen. The third way to highly oxygenate your body is to consume essential fatty acids, particularly omega-3 oil. Omega-3 oil. Now, omega-3 oil has been tagged or christened as the oxygen magnet. When your blood is rich in omega-3, the body uses, omega-3 to form the cell membrane. And that helps your cells, particularly your red blood cells, to be able to absorb more oxygen. So when your blood is rich in omega-3, if you check your red blood cells under a dark field microscope in a live blood analysis, you see the membrane of your red blood cells will be glowing. It glows. And that also makes it an oxygen magnet. So what are omega-3 oils? You have examples like flaxseed oil. We have krill oil, Krill. We have cod liver oil and other forms of fish oil. Then we have Udo's oil. That's an oil blend, actually. Udo's oil, Udo's perfected oil blend, particularly the one with DHA. Because you see, about 70% of our brain is fat. And half of that fat is made up of DHA. That's the type of essential fatty acid that is particularly useful in the brain. So the more omega-3 oil you eat, the more you enrich your brain on the one hand, and the more your body can also absorb oxygen. That's a very beautiful way to help your body to absorb oxygen. All right? We're going to go on a short break. When I come back, I will share the other 3 ways by which we can oxygenate our bodies properly. Don't forget, the first one is eat a lot of raw food every day. Number 2, practice deep breathing regularly, particularly in the outdoors. And number 3, consume a lot of omega-3 oil. Flaxseed oil, fish oil, cod liver oil. I love emulsified cod liver oil in particular, and Udo's oil. Okay, they work very well for me. You can use it as your salad dressing. You can add it to your smoothie, and you can even mix it into your food right on the dining table, particularly if you're eating things like beans or even rice and what have you, brown rice or fada rice and what have you. After the thing is cooked and served on the dining table, that's when you mix in the omega-3 oil. You don't use it to cook because heat will damage it. Right. That's how to make the best of omega-3 oil. Or you take it in the form of capsules, gel capsules, or you drink it from the spoon. So we have looked at those 3 ways to oxygenate the body. When we come back from this short break, we will discuss 3 more. Don't go away. Let me seize this moment to especially invite you to our upcoming 5F conference. It's our annual event. We started during the COVID year, and the maiden edition was a blast. And then in 2021, we had the 2nd edition. The 3rd edition is coming up this year, and September 30 to October 2. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want to specially invite you to be my guest. If you are in Nigeria and you are in the Lagos area or even in Ogun State or your state, I invite you to join us live in our Worshiptorium at 18 Shogunle Street, Abule Onigbagbo, off Mobolaji Bank, Anthony Way. Ikeja is between Sheraton Hotel, Ikeja, and Eko Hospital. It's going to be a life transforming conference. We deal with 5 major issues of our lives. Our faith, very, very foundational, very fundamental. And then our fitness, that's our health. Then we deal with our family issues, family. Then we deal with our finance. Then, of course, our future in this life and our future in the life to come. The whole essence of the 5F conference is to address those 5 important F's in our lives: your faith, your fitness, your family, your finance, and your future. And we have a lineup of incredible world-class resource persons who will be ministering to us, some of them based in Nigeria, some based in Canada, and all of them will be talking to us from their areas of expertise. These are world-class facilitators. Now, if you don't live in Nigeria, just join us online. We will let the link be available to you one way or the other. Join us online or go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and then when the time comes, your device will alert you that we have come live. It promises to be a life-changing experience. Thank you very much for your time and attention for this very brief advert on the 5F conference.
Introducing healthy newsletters on various health topics by Reverend Tony Akinyemi. To order, call +234 90 732 92100.
When I came and I listened to Reverend Tony, everything about my mindset changed immediately.
I've attended many seminars on wellness. I've taken many courses too on wellness, but I have been well impacted here.
Sincerely, I don't have a single regret for coming.
Welcome back. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. And we're looking at how to oxygenate our body properly, now that we know that it is important to ensure that we, as living organisms, are properly oxygenated. And we're looking at 6 ways to properly oxygenate the body. 5 of them are quite natural, things you can do at home free of charge. And then the 6th one requires a little bit of technology to enhance and to help the body to be able to properly get oxygenated. We have looked at eating more raw food, fresh fruits in season, vegetable salads, smoothies, nut milk, and vegetable juices. And then number 2, deep breathing. Number 3, consuming omega-3 essential fatty acid. Now, number 4, how to oxygenate your body properly is regular moderate exercises. Regular moderate exercises. Now, there are 3 categories of exercises that we should engage in. The first one is aerobic exercises. The second one has to do with weight-bearing or strength exercises. And the third one has to do with flexibility exercises or stretching exercises. Now, the particular type of exercise that really helps oxygenation is aerobic exercises. Now, different types of aerobics. You can be dancing to a particular music, or you can follow an aerobic class, where everybody is following a rhythmic pattern as the coach or the fitness coach, directs. You can also buy exercise videos and use at home for your aerobic exercises. That helps your heart rate to increase, the rate at which you breathe, and the rate at which you consume oxygen or absorb oxygen in copious amounts. Okay, so regular, moderate exercise is a very good way to oxygenate your blood properly, particularly when you do it in the outdoors. All right. Now, number 5 rather, is when your body is in an alkaline state, it is better able to absorb oxygen than when your body is in an acidic state. So before you start doing all the other ones like deep breathing, like exercise and what have you, in order to get in more oxygen, first of all, ensure that through your diet and your lifestyle, your body becomes alkaline. Because when your body is alkaline, your body will absorb more oxygen. Some studies actually says an alkaline body will absorb 100 times more oxygen than an acidic body. Can you imagine? 100 times oxygen absorption possible in a body that is in an alkaline state than a body that is in an acidic state. You see, the pH scale in chemistry runs from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. Anything below 7 is considered acidic. Anything above 7 is alkaline. Now, the human body should be in approximately around, precisely rather, 7.365. That's the pH of the body that is considered perfectly healthy, 7.365. Anything between 7.3 or 7.35 to 7.45 is considered normal range. 7.35 to 7.45 on the pH scale is considered normal. Apart from a few fluids in the body that should actually be acidic, like your gastric juice in your stomach should be acidic. Okay, cerebrospinal fluid could be acidic. But apart from that, body fluids, your blood and your muscles, your cells, everything should really be in the alkaline state. Between 7.35 and 7.45, ideally 7.365. I've told you this in one of the past episodes, how I remember some of these things. 7.365 means 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. That's easy to remember. So the ideal pH is 7.365. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Right. Keep your body in an alkaline state. So when your body is in an alkaline state, it is better able to absorb oxygen. So when you are exercising, you get more oxygen. When you are doing deep breathing, your body absorbs more oxygen. When you take omega-3 oil, your body absorbs more oxygen. Even when you use technology, like machines, equipment, like exercise with oxygen therapy, like, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, like ozone therapy, when your body is in an alkaline state, all those technologies will even help your body to absorb more oxygen. So how do you alkalize your body? We probably will also look at that maybe in another episode in the future. But to alkalize your body means to change your diet, change your thoughts, basically. Change your diet, change your thoughts. Now, there are certain foods you eat that will make your body acidic, and there are certain foods you eat that will make your body alkaline. So you concentrate on alkalizing foods. And I need you to mark my words. I didn't say alkaline foods. I say alkalizing foods. Because there are some foods that are acidic, yet they have an alkalizing effect on the body. Don't get confused. For example, lemon, lime, orange, all these citrus fruits are acidic. If you test them with pH, litmus paper, test their pH with litmus paper, it will come out acidic. The pH will be below 6, all right? But despite the fact that lemon is acidic, lime is acidic, orange is acidic, pineapple is acidic, yet when you eat them and your body metabolizes them, it leaves an alkaline ash in your body. It's like burning firewood, and then it leaves an ash behind. So when your food is metabolized, it leaves an ash behind. That ash is alkaline. So even though the fruits themselves are acidic, yet they have an alkalizing effect on the body ultimately. So you can still eat them because they are acidic, yet they are alkalizing. So what I said is eat a lot of alkalizing foods, okay? And avoid acidifying foods. So some foods are acidifying. Anytime you eat animal protein, you eat fish, you eat meat, you take milk, and anything animal protein, when you take it, it acidifies your body. Most pharmaceutical drugs acidify your body, all right? Then certain grains, like wheat, like rice and what have you, those are acidifying foods. But vegetables, fruits, and what have you, those are alkalizing foods. So once you eat 80% of your food from the alkalizing category, and not more than 20% from the acidifying category, and then you also regulate your thoughts in your mind, because when you think negative thoughts and you have negative emotions, anger, bitterness, unforgiveness, resentment, and all of those things, they actually generate a lot of adrenaline, a lot of cortisol, and these acidify your body. They make your body acidic. Okay? So your thoughts, your mood, your emotions, they also regulate your body pH one way or another. That's why the Bible says you should not allow the sun to go down on your anger, because you're killing yourself when you don't forgive. The person that you are holding grudges against, that you are not forgiving, is snoring, sleeping and snoring in his house. You are having insomnia. You're counting the ceiling. You can't sleep. Your body is getting acidified because you're pumping out very toxic chemicals into your system. Why would you do that to yourself? So when God gives us an instruction to forgive, he knows precisely what he's talking about. Okay? It is in your own interest to forgive and to forget and to let go. Right. So alkalize your body. Now, the sixth way that we can highly oxygenate our body is by using technology. And this is why we're talking about E12, exercise with oxygen therapy. We're talking about HBOT, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. And we're talking about ozone therapy. All right. So note that exercise helps us to breathe in copious amounts of oxygen. And according to George Burns, and I quote him, he says, the secret to a long life is to keep breathing. As if you can live without breathing. You know, the secret to a long life is to keep breathing. Somebody else says, the secret to a long life is to keep moving. You know, activity, moving. Now, so for proper blood oxygenation and other health benefits, we should all increase our heart rates into the aerobic zone. The aerobic zone, or the aerobic range, which is about 120 beats per minute to 150 beats per minute, depending on our age. So when you begin to do aerobic exercise and your heart begins to beat, and then the rate increases. The regular rate for heartbeat, you know, for very fit, extremely fit, athletic individuals is somewhere between 40 and 60 beats per minute. And then those who are fit, somewhere between 60 and 80 beats per minute. Those who are unfit, their heart beats approximately 80 to 120 beats per minute. Now, when you are fit and you are exercising, during exercise, your heart rate will go up. There are many exercise equipments like treadmills and what have you that have sensors on them that you can actually hold, and they will sense your heartbeat, and it will be showing on the screen how many times your heart is beating. It will show your pulse. Okay, so when your heart begins to beat during exercise to about 120 times per minute to 150 times per minute, that is called the aerobic zone. Okay, so when you start exercising and you sustain your heartbeat in that aerobic range of 120 to 150 beats per minute, and you sustain it for approximately 20 minutes to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, that is a beautiful way to oxygenate your body. Now, I use the word I had because I don't even know where that guy is right now. I had a friend, okay, who studied, he did agric science in the university, and he actually specialized in fisheries. Okay, so he was the one who told me that oxygenation even helps fish in the waters to grow better. And he says, when you see the rain falling and the raindrops are dropping on the surface of the river, the ocean, the water bodies, he said actually it is a way of infusing oxygen into the water. That's how our water bodies, the rivers, the streams, and the ocean, that's how they get infused with oxygen. When the rain is falling and splashing on the surface, he said it is oxygen infusion that is going on right there. Okay? And so when these water bodies get highly oxygenated, you find wild fish and other aquatic animals actually get oxygen from the water. Now, I also paid a visit. My wife and I visited a particular fishery here in Nigeria. It's in Ogun State, but bordering Lagos State. It's not far from, it's more or less part of Lagos State. There are some parts of, Ogun State that is almost like Lagos State in Nigeria, because you can actually just drive in there, 5, 10, 15 minutes, you are in. You have crossed the border into Ogun State. So it is Ogun State bordering Lagos State around Opik area. Those of us who are in Nigeria and who are familiar with that axis in Nigeria. My wife and I visited a fish farm there, and we were conducted round, and we actually saw oxygen tanks mounted right along the wall in that particular fish farm. And they had all these concrete water tanks that they built where the fish were being raised. By the way, the plural of fish is also fish. So it is wrong to say fishes, okay, in proper English. That's free of charge. You don't have to pay tuition for that. The plural of fish is fish, all right? Just like the past tense of cast is cast. Some people will say, I casted it out. That's wrong. That's bad English. I cast it out, okay? All right, not I casted it out. Right, and you don't say fishes, you say fish, because it's the same thing as singular and plural. So now, they had these concrete tanks where they breed fish, plenty of fish, okay? And these oxygen tanks were lined up all over the place. So I was asking the farm manager, what are all these tanks doing on the wall there? He said, they are oxygen tanks. I said, what are they for? He said, we actually bubble the oxygen into the water in the ponds so that the fish can do better. I said, wow. So even fish requires oxygenation for them to do well. Some of us just buy fish and eat fish. We don't know how they produce them. Even fish farming requires a lot of technology, okay? So I would suggest that since natural oxygen is free, I mean natural oxygen. Of course, if you go to any medical facility where they have to put you on oxygen, you have to pay for that oxygen. That one is not free. But I'm talking about natural oxygen, the one in the atmosphere. Since natural oxygen is free, we should do our best to obtain all we can by always using the full capacity of our lungs when we breathe. So we do slow, deep breathing, which helps to oxygenate our blood. All right. Now, let's get back to technology, which is the sixth way to boost our body or blood oxygenation. What are the potential benefits of exercising with oxygen therapy? Now, there's really no limit to the potential benefits of exercising with oxygen therapy. But the benefits, whatever benefit we derive from E12, those benefits are possible because of 4 major things. And that is what I would like to discuss. But because time is gone today, I will have to sign off in a few minutes. And then in the next episode, we're going to be looking at the 4 major ways in which E12, exercise with oxygen therapy, can benefit us. But I will highlight them today before we go. The first one is that exercise with oxygen has the ability to improve oxygen circulation around our body. And once oxygen circulation improves, it benefits so many organ systems in the body and can help also as a contributor to resolving many health conditions in the body. So improved oxygen circulation, that's the first way in which E12 benefits the body. The second way is that E12 has the ability to also restore blood flow. There are capillaries, very tiny blood vessels around the body that blood no longer flows through them properly due to narrowing, due to different kinds of things, atherosclerosis, plaque deposit, and what have you. Once you go on E12, exercise with oxygen therapy, it begins to restore blood flow and improve microcirculation. That's another way in which it helps. And once microcirculation takes place, there will be improved nutrient delivery to extremities in the body, to your fingers and to your toes. And once blood properly circulates to all those extremities, definitely it will benefit you. Nutrients are delivered properly, waste products are removed efficiently. That's a good way to improve health. The third way in which exercise with oxygen therapy helps to improve our wellness and well-being is through increased production of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is cellular energy. Again, I've explained this over and over. You take your crude oil from the Niger Delta in Nigeria, you take it to the refinery refines the crude oil. There we get kerosene, aviation fuel, we get petrol, we get diesel, we get grease, we get all kinds of different products from the same crude oil. In the same way, when you eat your food is digested, okay, in your digestive tract, in the stomach, from the mouth to the stomach to the small intestine, and the end product of that digestion is absorbed into your bloodstream, circulates around the body, and then the cells take the glucose from the blood and takes it into the mitochondria, which is the refinery, and then uses the calorie to produce the end product, ATP. It refines it. So the refinery is for ATP production, the mitochondria primarily. Now, when you do exercise with oxygen therapy, you actually boost ATP production. You increase ATP production. That means more fuel available for your engine to run. That's the third way in which E12 benefits the body. The fourth way is the ability of E12 to reduce inflammation and swelling in our micro blood vessels in particular. Okay? So these four factors actually influence our overall health and wellness in many ways. And we're going to be looking at each of those factors one by one in greater detail. God bless you. Have a beautiful week ahead of you. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Monday evening on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. I'm your regular host, and I'm honored to do that week in, week out. God bless you. Bye-bye. Let me seize this moment to especially invite you to our upcoming 5F conference. It's our annual event. We started during the COVID year, and the maiden edition was a blast. And then in 2021, we had the second edition. The third edition is coming up this year, on September 30 to October 2. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want to specially invite you to be my guest. If you are in Nigeria and you are in the Lagos area or even in Ogun State or your state, I invite you to join us live in our worshiptorium at 18 Shogunle Street, Abule Onigbagbo, off Mobolaji Bank, Anthony Way. Ikeja is between Sheraton Hotel, Ikeja, and Eco Hospital. It's going to be a life-transforming conference. We deal with 5 major issues of our lives. Our faith, very, very foundational, very fundamental. And then our fitness, that's our health. Then we deal with our family issues, family. Then we deal with our finance. Then, of course, our future in this life and our future in the life to come. The whole essence of the 5F conference is to address those 5 important F's in our lives: your faith, your fitness, your family, your finance, and your future. And we have a lineup of incredible world-class, resource persons who will be ministering to us, some of them based in Nigeria, some based in Canada, and all of them will be talking to us from their areas of expertise. These are world-class facilitators. Now, if you don't live in Nigeria, just join us online. We will let the link be available to you one way or the other. Join us online or go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and then when the time comes, your device will alert you that we have come live. It promises to be a life-changing experience. Thank you very much for your time and attention for this very brief advert on the 5F conference.